Good morning, pirates. Calendar week 18. Climate honesty and seed sowing. It has not been a quiet week at the barracks. If you were into the whole invertebrate allusions thing, you could say that it has been buzzing. The plumber finished his thing. The drain people came in their oversized orange machine and pumped drains for an hour. We have, as hinted at previously, volunteers here. And the pigs are being lively. I suppose the biggest thing of the week was the film people being here. The journalist pushed me harder than most people do on the destructive elements of collapse, and it wasn't really until the second day of filming that I realised that the reason she was doing this was not necessarily in order to paint a flattering picture of either the barracks or the pirate. So I went hard on her. She seemed determined to believe that things won't be that bad, and apparently has for her report a talking head scientist from the IPCC to say as much. So I am afraid I pushed quite hard against that. I'm a bit worried that I've given her, the journalist, enough material to edit together a story that I'm not at all comfortable with. One of our exchanges went a bit like this. So things might get a bit worse, but not as bad as full-on collapse, like you say. So then, what's the mechanism that stops the decline? If things start to get worse, what stops them continuing to get worse? What's the change that makes things okay again? Journalist: I just don't think we should give up hope. Me: but it needs a mechanism to reverse the decline. Something has to change. And if the thing is probably the death of 4 billion human souls, you're saying that 4 billion dead is a thing called hope. Well, I just can't go there. Which might be a bit harsh, but it's probably true. And I really hate having to think like that. It puts me in a fug for days. Then we had a long talk about honesty in climate communication, and I might have had a bit of a mild pop at our profession for being the gatekeepers of truth and deciding for themselves which truths to publish. Anyway, the point of this isn't to spoil the fun of the end result. It's to say that I was in a bit of a state about it all. And yet this week, two climate communicators who I rather like both published things saying more or less the exact same thing. That the truth in communicating collapse is super important and that the public can be trusted with it. You know, like they were adults or something. Rupert Reed, climate change philosopher and Green Party politician, handily retweeted a link to his book from the end of last year, Do You Want to Know the Truth? The Surprising Rewards of Climate Honesty. And one of my favourite YouTube channelers, Dave Borlace at Just Have a Think, did a video about Arctic sea ice and honesty in climate communication. You should definitely read one and watch the other. And now I really must go and feed the piggies, and this week I hope to plant many thousands of seeds. Sow seeds. And that is about the extent of the job list. Be lovely and be truthful. Much love, your Pirate Ben. XO.